Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to discuss chapter 16 of our book. And here we're back to Ronald's side of the story. And they ask Ron, okay, Jennifer wants to meet you, will you? And he says, absolutely. People's families, though. Jennifer's family didn't want her to do it. And now Robin doesn't want um, Ron to do it. She says, what could she possibly want from you? And Ron says, when I had watched the PBS movie and heard Jennifer Thompson say she knew I didn't do it, but that she still saw my face, she might as well have pushed a knife into my heart. It hurt. I needed to ask her why. What was it about me that made her think it was me? If she met me, would she be able to see I wasn't a monster? And that's that whole thing that we think it's a monster who has to commit these crimes, and we throw them in prison and we say lock them away. They're a monster. We dehumanize them. Um, and that's what's happened here. She spent 11 years of her life dehumanizing him, and that's not a switch that can be flipped. But for Robin, this is very hard for her to understand. She says she went on with her life, and now you're trying to go on with yours. And what is she trying to do? Mess with it again? It's not fair. You don't owe her anything. Here again, that owing thing. And Ron says, why are you so angry about this? She says, because you aren't angry enough. And Ron says, I had had 11 years to deal with everything, but for Robin, all this was still new. So Ron asks her, what good is anger going to do me? And she says, why do you always have to make it okay for everybody else? I know you're always telling everyone you're fine. You don't want anyone's pity. Do you know how hard it is to lie by your side night after night and watch you flinch in your sleep, screaming, no, 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 she cried. And so here we get a little sense of what, is not always fine for Ron. When you come out of prison, a lot of people have PTSD. Our prison system is just, it's a free for all, and it's not healthy at all. There's no correctional part of it. And so even someone who was innocent is suffering from it. And so Ron tells her, I'm going with you or without you. And so she's got to come to terms with this on her own. She talks to her minister. She says, it's not fair for me to not want you to go. You're the one who needs to be able to put this stuff to rest to find peace if you can. So remember, he too is a victim. So not only does Jennifer, she has to deal with her own rape, but she also has to deal with the fact that she identified the wrong man and ruined his life for 11 years. And so he's got to deal with it too. There's got to be some kind of closure to that. So Robin and Tom go with him. They end up going to rob the ADA's church. Mike is there as well as Detective Lowe, and Jennifer there is with her husband and rob the ADA. Jennifer asked to speak with Robin and Ron with her husband, so the other guys wait in the hallway. And he says she looked very nervous. I think it was kind of a shock our being face to face. We had never actually been that close to each other. Jennifer looked like she wasn't sure what to say or do. She looked down at the ground, then up at Robin, and then at me. Mr. Cotton, I don't even know what to call you. Ron, Ronald, Mr. Cotton. If I spent the rest of my life telling you how sorry I am, it wouldn't come close to how I feel. Can you ever forgive me? Sometimes people don't have to say a thing. If you look directly into their eyes, it's all there. People's eyes talk. I learned to read people like that when I was in prison. So it was good to be there to hear her and see the expressions on her face. I could see that she was truly sorry. It was plain as day. If she could have gone back and turned the hands of time to change what happened, she would have. I said, I forgive you. I'm not angry at you. I don't want you to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder thinking I'm out to get you or harm your family. If you look, I'm not going to be there. All I want is for us all to go on and have a happy life. And Jennifer was speechless. I could see there was pain, a lot of pain that she was trying to let go. For the first time in so many years, I didn't see the hate in her eyes. She saw me, and then they hugged. And then they talked a little bit about their lives. She asked him if he had known Bobby Poole, and he says, I met him in prison. I had known some of his family coming up in the area, but I didn't know him. And he says it's true what Rob said. We were both his victims. And then Robin kind of felt like she needed to say something to Jennifer, and she tells her, Jennifer, I have a lot of anger with you, but this hurt you see being released. You need to see it. Ronald's a good man. There aren't many men that could fill his shoes. And I think that's very true. There's a lot of people who couldn't forgive and just move on with their life after that happened to them. And then Robin asked if she could talk to Jennifer alone. So then at the end of chapter 16, all the men are waiting out in the hallway. So that's where we end with week 7's reading. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. For this week, the homework assignment that you need to submit is a typed completed critical response for this. And I will do a video to show you how to get that all set up. The critical response, remember, it's not a summary of the chapters. What you're going to do is you're going to pick out one point from this book, any point from any chapter so far that you've read. Okay, so it doesn't have to be from the chapters for this week. It could be from any chapter that you've read so far, and you're going to respond to it. Okay, you're going to talk about it. So I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say so far about the book. So that'll be the next video for week 7 to do. And then, like I've said before, when I get the material for week 8 done, I'll get that released as soon as I can. So week 8 will probably be up there a little bit early. So once you get week 7 done, you can go right into week 8.